very good day to you and welcome to this wonderful show. My name is Jedel Kabir. I'm here with Herman Manyora. We're going to have a conversation about our two democracies, Kenya and the United States of America. Of course, Republicans are quite excited. I don't know, Prof, where you are leaning when it comes to Republicans, Democrats, Kamala, Trump.
I'm a Trumpist, always.
Trumpist?
I've always believed in Trump. Yeah.
You know, most
always. Even when it was very unpopular in the last time, 2016, yeah.
You believe in him?
Yes.
What makes him stand out for you as a leader?
I like people. There's something about Trump which I want other leaders to have. First of all, authenticity. He doesn't pretend. You remember him saying he could be as presidential as they come, but he doesn't want. Just be himself. That's number one. But number two, and much more important, he puts America first. I want to see a president who puts his country first. I want to see somebody in Kenya in State House who puts Kenya first. Not Bill Gates, not IMF, not World Bank, not the Globalists, no. Not Monsanto. I want to see a president in Kenya who puts Kenyans first, not business first.
That's
why I support Trump, because he puts America first. You can even chase these Kenyans out of America. You mess your own country, then you want to go and go out to other people's countries which they have struggled to put where it is. And God has given you a very good country like Kenya. Make it great. MAGA rallies. Make America great again. Make Kenya great, not again.
We start with Kenya.
Yeah, it has never been great. We've squandered every opportunity we've been given by God. Yeah.
What is your take on this conversation in the US about illegal immigrations? And you know, it affects people from Africa and different parts of the world.
I don't care. I have never, frankly speaking.
Because for Kenyans who support...
Frankly speaking, you have your country. We are only 50 million people here. This country can hold 500 million people before we begin to panic. So, a country that can hold 500 million people, and we are only 50 million people. We are just 10% of our capacity. Before we begin to get concerned about the population of Kenya, we are only 10% at 50. I'm sure we can hold. I'm basing my argument on many things. Yeah, we can get to 500, 200 million people before we begin. So we can all fit here and enjoy. And God has given us things that people just can't believe we have. What country has a coastline? White beaches, sands. Which country has deserts with all its benefit and the minerals therein and oil and everything? In the northeastern counties, the arid counties. Combine that with the coasts, then you go to the arid, completely arid, even desert, semi-arid, desert, mountains, rivers, valleys, savanna, forests, grasslands, snow-capped Mount Kenya. What is it God hasn't given us? Sun all around the year. If we just tapped into solar energy alone, we will produce cheaply more electricity than we need as a country. What hasn't God given us? What are we going to look for in America? Cold places, when they become winter, you wonder what we are doing there. Some of them are going to be like slaves. Let them come to their countries and develop their countries. I don't support illegal immigrants. No. No.
I want you to talk to me a little bit about...
Don't say, oh, we are running away. What are you running away from? You are part of the mess. Today you are asked to vote for Manyora, he can change this country. You vote for some thug. A month later, you want to go to the US. No. You have the power in your hands to make your country good. I don't support that.
Why do you think we had this conversation when it comes to these campaigns in America about illegal immigration, and people in America actually say it's okay for these illegal immigrants to be here? What is that thing about...
Not everybody says so.
Some say. What is this thing about ideologies in America when you compare Republicans and Democrats, especially when it comes to people coming through their borders?
No, you see, first of all, whether you admit people in or not is just sometimes a campaign tool. Because traditionally, the Democrats are people who who say they are liberal. They admit of certain things that are modern and new ways of looking at things. And if you look at things that way, they also would want to say minorities are being protected by their ideologies and their philosophies and so on and so forth. That then means immigrants, those who come from other countries, whether illegal or otherwise, fall within the category of people the Democrats would be pushing for. That's why they support the immigrants. But the idea is, even if you are to open your doors to people, must it be people who come through the back door? Even Kenyans who talk so. You've seen so many Burundians and what are we in this country. It will get to a point where you feel, even there, you need to put a check on them. No country can lie to anybody in the world that you can open your doors for everybody. Soon there will be a problem.
Because in Kenya we see Nigerians, we see Burundians, we see...
What do Nigerians do? And you know what they do. Let me not mention on TV. They could think I'm a bad man. The things they do to our young people, to girls in this country, what trade they are engaged in. If there's a corn game anyway, chances are a Nigerian will be involved. If I'm the president of Kenya, they will not be here.
And that's why you say you're a Trumpian.
Yes. If I am the president of Kenya, these people who come and sell drugs to our children, confuse our young university girls and do things to them. People who import all manner of things in this country, illegal things, not paying taxes. The day I'm sworn in as the president of Kenya is the day they will leave. I don't leave. After we hit a car long, I just call the security chiefs. I'm giving you 24 hours to round up anybody who is not a Kenyan and who is here illegally.
Then we see what will happen. Of course, I want you to talk to me about concession and whether we'll have that in Kenya. Listen to Kamala saying that they believe in the Constitution, they believe in loyalty to their conscience and to God. But before we go there...
Which God, and they are not so much for God.
Before we go there, we've been advertising, in case you don't know. We have 3 million total views in the past 28 days. We have 27.4 million impressions. Watch time of these shows, of course you're still watching, is up to 400,000 plus hours. Our returning viewers at 319,000. Our unique viewers every single month at over 500,000 actually unique viewers. So if you're looking for a platform where you can get your brand visible, of course, you can talk to us through the numbers down the screen. That's 0768-074, 076, 0768-074, 076. Contact that number today. Of course, your brand will be visible, and visibility actually, as you know.
We thank those who have begun bringing business to us.
Yeah.
We are already having a number of them, and we thank them so much. We ask our viewers, if you know somebody who wants to advertise, we are friendly, we work within your budget. And we are really happy for those who have already turned up. And we ask our viewers, subscribe. These numbers will help us get some little partnership, which then will enable us to run this program. These programs are not easy to run.
Yeah. They're not. I was talking to Kwame, I was talking to the guy who is selling glass, steel, aluminium, and they're telling me the phone calls they're getting.
Yeah.
The phone calls they're getting, it's difficult to keep up.
I told this guy, Kwame, after 3 weeks,
1 month.
He will change his telephone line because the numbers that will come. You remember the Mambo Safi?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't keep business. Because these numbers don't lie.
And it's
our statistics are there. You come and prove them, they are there.
One thing I realized about advertisement, it's not just about the numbers. It's about the trust.
Yes.
And I believe we've created a platform where people trust what we do.
Yeah.
Because we talk about things that actually do matter, and we are here every single day. And so if you give us your brand every single day, we will know we've been here. We will be here to talk about your brand.
We also want to help these people. Those people might think it's a very difficult thing. If you want to advertise, we can work out with you how to structure it, how to create the ad, so that we run what you and us have created.
Yes.
You just come with the idea, and then we create for you. You don't have to create, because people also worry about creating.
Yeah.
And it's a very difficult job because business has become so bad. Unless you advertise, you'll get into problems. Advertising is making what you have visible. Do you know these coolers with glass, Coca-Cola? It became a game changer when somebody thought about it. A game changer. Because people don't go and buy soda because it is food. No, it is something you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
But when you are passing by and then you see it,
Yeah.
and it is hot, let you cook.
So
visibility.
Yes. That's what we want to do for you. You just made me think about Trump and the economy in America. You're saying this is what he wants to do.
Yeah, for America.
Make businesses in America thrive.
For America.
For America.
Yes. He said from the first term, this idea of American businessmen going to do things in Mexico is taking American jobs to Mexico. You make conditions in America so difficult for manufacturers to work. Then they find it easier to go and do it in Mexico, in China, elsewhere. Then they bring the goods. You have lost millions of jobs. Why don't you make conditions favorable? Why don't you lower taxes? Why don't you remove certain taxes? Why don't you get rid of unnecessary tariffs and agreements with people which favor those people at your expense? That's why I support Trump.
For him, he's saying put tariffs on businesses that hinder American businesses.
Then they go to Mexico and do things from there. Then they bring goods. Millions of jobs lost. Why don't you lower those taxes and remove some? Then the people remain in America and produce things in America. Love for country is what Trump demonstrates and is what I support.
We go back to concession.
Yes.
You know, in Kenya, if someone loses, they go back to their backyard and they
I'm doing an article on that.
They charge them. They tell them, we cannot lose. You know, we have lost unfairly. But then you listen to Kamala Harris, she comes and I told you.
We in America.
This is our fundamental principle.
That when you lose an election, you accept.
She called Trump.
Yes. And you concede. You must call the president. What you don't concede is that which you stood for. Losing doesn't mean you concede the things you stood for. Yeah. You don't concede what is right. What is good for America. You've lost, yes. You concede, you've lost. But you stood for something. You don't concede. And you don't give up on what you think is good for America.
I was going to ask you why we don't concede, but let me reframe. Why hasn't Raila ever conceded?
You see, it is first of all, it's a tradition and it doesn't just grow from nowhere. Okay, we must first of all ensure we have hygiene in our politics. Okay, we must ensure the elections are free and a true reflection of the will of the Kenyan people. It is natural for people to feel hurt when they lose an election. It's natural. But once they get an opening through which to express that frustration, then you get the situation we have in this country. So let us make our elections as free and as fair as possible. Then we shall start the tradition of the loser shaking the winner's hand. Shika simu, pigia Ruto mwambie, congratulations, Your Excellency, you have won the elections. Do that. And after some 10, 15, 20 years, that tradition will have developed.
But when or where do we start?
We start by being, you see, it's people like Raila who cause all this problem. I don't know why they have never seen this small thing. If I run for president, I will teach them. Trump addressed the people of America and thanked them for electing him. Who had declared him the winner? Had anybody declared him the winner?
Started from Fox News.
Had somebody in Bomas yao ilikuwa imekaa, Bomas yao itakaa December. The tallying and everything and official results will be done in December. Why do people go to Bomas? Even Kina Raila. I just wonder why Kina Kalonzo. Why do you go to Bomas? And the law it says very clear that presidential elections take place at the polling station. Unaenda Bomas kufanya nini? What you need to do is to have your votes at the polling station, every polling station, once they reach a certain threshold beyond which your competitor cannot catch up with you, you thank the Kenyan people for being president. That's what I would do if I ran for president. I would not go to Bomas. I'll just get my votes, all of them. And the media should come in and help us. After the Ocampo thing, people feared, even media were told, don't announce. There's nothing more foolish than that. Let media announce in every polling station. Let candidates have their figures. Because the figures, when the law says you must pin on the door. So what's so difficult in today's world, getting results in 1 hour or 3 hours? By 10 o'clock at night, on the voting day, like on 10th of August, the year 2027, Manyora will be somewhere addressing the Kenyan nation.
Your support.
Thanking them. 10 o'clock, I should have all the results in my way. And I would know I have won and become the president of Kenya. I'll call a media briefing. And I'll address the people of Kenya and thank them. And tell them a new beginning for this country.
Okay.
This is your time.
So,
in 5, and I'll tell them in another 5 years, you'll be sleeping with your card, always looking at it, it's not lost, to re-elect me. Because you will see things you have not seen before. Why do Kina Raila go to Bomas of Kenya?
that is the first.
That's where the problem is.
I'm saying that is the first.
That's where the problem, even in our constituency, you see people going to sleep 3 days at the tallying center. What are they going to do there? If I stand for MP, by 7 o'clock, I know I'm the MP. I address the media and I thank the people for electing me as MP. There's nothing else I'm doing. What am I going to do there? That is official. They are getting official figures for records. But the MP is already known. I'm the MP, or I'm the president, I'm the governor.
So what you're saying is...
That is the first, I'm writing on, I'll write an article on that. The first thing is to move away from giving people opportunities for messing an election. Tallying. What are you going to tally? Even an MCA with 6 polling stations or 10, they are still going somewhere to tally. 10 polling stations, you don't know how many votes you have? What are you going to tally? No, please, Jad, I'll get annoyed. What are you going to tally?
10 polling stations.
10 polling stations. What are you going to tally?
5 days you don't know.
Yes, 5 days. A county, like if Higa, where I come from, a tiny little county like this, on the polling day, before 8 o'clock, you don't know who the governor is? The governor hasn't spoken to the people to thank them? He's still going where they're tallying. This can never be more stupid than. Bomas is the cause of the problems in Kenya. It was KICC then Bomas. What are people going to do in Bomas? The Bomas of America is going to come, I think, in December.
Yeah, swearing in January. And we already know the president-elect.
You have the votes. What are you waiting? What are you going to do in Bomas? You are creating situations that allow for rigging and gerrymandering.
Why do you think in America it takes that long? You have your election on November, the swearing in is in January.
Yeah, just orderly transition. Not like when Kibaki won and Kinamukisa too, you wanted Kibaki to be sworn on the same day. The government protocol department has invited heads of state to come for Kibaki's swearing. And the guys are behaving like children. Kibaki is sworn 2 days later.
Is it a question?
Election 27th, Kibaki is being sworn on 30th. And it's a big transition. Moi has been in power for 24 years. Kanu has been in power from independence up to the year 2002. It's a big day. We want to invite many people from different parts of the world.
Is this the same thing? And maybe you can answer that with, when are we yet mature as a democracy? Because what we saw with Rigathi Gachagua, his impeachment is upheld in the Senate. The next day his security is taken out.
Yes.
How do we mature as a democracy?
We are juvenile. We are yet to mature. You know, as an old man, I can tell you, there's something that comes with age. Some kind of stability. you can take things in your step. There's some ease about being mature. Things that make people jump up and down, young people, you cannot do that. That's what a country is supposed to be. We think it's good enough to remove a deputy president. We have good reasons. We do it in a mature manner. Due process. Not hurrying. And then the day for him to go, even physically leave his premises, it is arranged. Transport is given to him. He ferries his things. We figure out his pension if he is qualified for the same. And he goes into the next phase of life. Same for a retiring president. We treat him well with decorum. You remember people wanted to chase Uhuru out of State House?
Yeah.
You saw images of trucks moving him, and people were saying they have been sent there by the Ruto people. It wasn't even true.
Yes.
People were getting, these you young people with you. That's not how to do it. You just do it orderly, maturely, because these are matters of state. And that's why Americans have done that. They have a calendar of events. The first Tuesday of November every 4th year, there's an election. It is followed by something else, then another thing, and then finally, then Congress certifies that as correct, actually, Congress do people even know Congress takes like a vote? Do people know Congress must confirm the winner?
Yeah.
Do Kenyans know that? But do we hear about, do we know of it? Because the American people have spoken. No institution can change that. Elections have been called by the media. And the telling of the president, sure, they have won. What else are you waiting for?
Then maybe let me ask you about why Kenyans were excited after Trump's win.
Yeah.
And you'd look at social media, people posting Meg Whitman, recall.
Yeah.
What benefits does Trump pose for Africans who thought their leaders were under the helm of Joe Biden and were basically being controlled from White House?
I basically want to say two things. One, as much as we are blacks in Africa and therefore we tend to side with Democrats, because the black population in America sides with Democrats, although there was a significant number that voted for Trump this time around, because of these illegal immigrants who are coming to take the jobs for the blacks.
Yes.
Although that is the case, the truth on the ground is, however, different. If you look at the benefits from America that have come to Africa, Kenya included, most of them will have come through the Democrats, the Republicans. Yeah. If you take time, experts, let them prove me wrong, many of the packages that Africa has received have come from the Republicans. The second thing is, the Democrats under Biden have supported the globalists. They have supported people like Bill Gates and so on and so forth. And their ventures in Africa are destructive, to say the least. What is quickly known by people is things like GMO, killing all varieties of seeds so that they introduce what people are now calling food colonialism. You get it? If you look at even the laws made by our parliament, the most known is about ndengu and others and seed, and GMO foods, and all manner of experiments, including with our children, and the vaccine issues, and so on and so forth. These people have been supported by Democrats, especially Joe Biden. And Kenyans and other Africans are happy that with the Trump, some of these things will be reversed. Okay? Kenyans are particularly happy that Meg Whitman will have to pack. That's how American systems work. When you become president, all the president's men come in and all the president men leave.
Yeah.
So you come with your people, including everything. We have a bit of that in Kenya. So people cannot wait to see Meg Whitman leave.
Why do you think she has been?
You know,
that popular?
this lady landed just after our elections, and she took a trumpet. Oh, this is the best election she had ever seen in the world. She wasn't even here. She landed after the elections, but she said it was the best election anybody could think of. And she has made that a permanent narrative. And Kenyans cannot forgive her for that. Recently, Western nations issued a communique. In the statement, the Western nations were asking government to stop abductions and blah, 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 blah. She refused to sign. All her Western counterparts, I think all of them, except her. Maybe there's another one or two, but I didn't follow cleanly. But she was a noticeable absentee, calling the government to put a hold on these abductions and extrajudicial killings. So people cannot wait for Meg Whitman to leave. They can't wait for the new ambassador. They don't care who.
Do you really think the change will be significant, really, for African countries with Trump at the helm?
Yes and no. Yes, because Trump's foreign policy would seem to favor Africa in a small way. Yes, also because some of the things that I have said that have active support from the Biden administration will not receive that support. The big companies that are messing Africa, Trump will not support that. But sadly no, because the American presidency is a straitjacket. If people think you can change it, you can't. There's not much to change. There's very limited space for you to operate. You know, very limited space. Yeah.
But even if you look at the wars, maybe my last final, the wars, Israel, you look at Israel, Hamas, you look at Ukraine, Russia, you look at China's wanting to involve itself in Taiwan. Are these going to change with Trump there?
Dramatically. Trump has said, and he has a record, he said he'll stop these senseless wars. Look at the Russian-Ukraine war. The Russian-Ukrainian war is a stalemate. It's going nowhere. And yet America is pumping their money all the time. It's going nowhere. But what is happening is the destruction being occasioned on Ukraine will take more than 100 years to rebuild. Ukraine will need tens of years to rebuild after this useless war. So if Trump puts an end to that war,
and we know how much food we get from
what's the problem?
Ukraine.
Yeah, so you see, Trump stops unnecessary wars, unnecessary interventions. NATO is now trembling. When he came in 2016, he said, look here, gentlemen, we put so much money in NATO, and these countries have their own money, which they squander. Why can't they also contribute? No, me, I like Trump's. Look here, we support countries because they are our allies. Give them billions of US dollars paid by American taxmen. Those countries also have their money. They don't want to contribute even $1. And they use it on useless things. They also feel big enough to support others. Let them also take care of themselves. So you can never get a man closer to the people of his country than Trump.
So your message throughout this video has been, that's what we need for our country.
We need for Kenya a president who puts Kenya number. You can have friends. You talk to IMF. You talk to World Bank. Talk to Kina Bill Gates. Talk to Kina Monsanto. Talk to them. There's no problem. But there must be a line. They should not cross. A line they should not cross. Because you love your country. Your country comes first. You love your people come first. Any engagement, any friendship, any relationship that stands in the way of you and your people is a no-go zone.
All right.
We engage on many fronts, on bilateral trade, multilateral trade agreements, on even loans and what have you, support, everything we discuss. Nothing is under the table, everything. But the moment you cross the line, now that you want me to be on your side, as opposed to the side of the Kenyan people, iko red line hapo.
All right, thanks for tuning in to that conversation. Two democracies, we compare Kenya to the United States. I don't know whether you believe Kamala will be president or Trump, but what are your thoughts in the next coming of days? What we really see when it comes to governance here in Kenya based on Trump's win? The number is 0768074076. Contact that number today for you to become a brand visible by those viewing this particular video today.